So hello everyone, welcome to the LaserHQ podcast. This episode is hosted by yours truly, Kelly Bond. For those of you that don't know who I am, for the last 2 years I have been honoured to be the general manager of LaserHQ, and of course I deal with all of our wonderful customers on the customer experience side of things. Today we're doing things a little bit differently, and our wonderful founder Alyssa, the normal host of our podcast, has very kindly allowed me to step into the seat because the lady that we're going to be speaking to today is wonderful, and I have had so many great dealings with her recently, collaborating with our businesses LaserHQ and LaserHQ on the Break the Taboo with LaserHQ campaigns. Both Helen and myself suffer with endometriosis, so we are going to touch on that throughout the podcast as it is of big interest to both of our customer bases. But in the meantime, I'm going to hand over to the wonderful Helen Quayle of LaserHQ.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Lovely to finally put a face to the name.
I know, finally.
We work so much together, but we've never met.
Yeah.
So Helen, I know lots about you. Our customers have met you in kind of lives or direct at one of your clinics.
Mm-hmm.
For people who have never met you before, tell us a little bit. Who's Helen? What does she do?
So I'm Helen Quayle and I own LaserHQ. So LaserHQ is a laser hair removal company, which we have expanded out into other lasers, tattoo removal. But when I first started the business 6.5 years ago, it was mainly laser hair removal. We have clinics across the Northwest, so Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle. We have laser clinics across the whole of the UK, and we specialise in women's hormone health. So that's why we worked with yourself. So we do huge campaigns for women with Break the Taboo. A lot of our clients that do come to us have hormonal imbalances, or they're struggling with confidence and everything like that. And I've sort of come into this role as like, I want to help women feel better and sort of like figure out what's going on, because unfortunately unwanted hair growth is a factor of hormone imbalances and PCOS and endometriosis, etc. And we'll talk about that today. So we help women, we change their lives across the UK, and that is what I solely dedicate my life to.
And you're doing it well. Well done.
Thank you.
I must have to add as well, you are, of course, Entrepreneur of the Year.
Yes, I'm Young Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm not young anymore though, 30.
Oh, stop it, I'm 33.
I just got it that year. I was like, whew.
No, it's fabulous. Okay, so you touched on it there really briefly, but I want to come back to it because you did stress that point of what makes you different. We have laser hair removals. We're obviously in the Northwest. We're Liverpool based. There's laser hair removal here, there and everywhere at lots of different salons, lots of different offerings. Yours is very unique, very likened to the approach that LaserHQ has with their clients. Yes. It's a very tailored response that they get. It's not just a come in, have your armpits lasered.
Absolutely.
Talk us through the consultation.
So with the consultation, now it all stems with like making that person feel comfortable of coming in. So that is our main aim. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, like beforehand, we have an amazing admin team that are always there to be on the phone, DMs, emails, everything. Usually you would book your consultation online and like obviously come in, do your forms and stuff. But how LaserHQ is, and the girls are just incredible. So they are all trained on the hormone health program, which I did create through the training academy. So they can help sort of like recognize hormonal imbalances, like not diagnose them in such a sense of like you have this, but it's more of a experience, and we work alongside you rather than you just come in, you just pay in to get your top lip done or your underarms and something, and then that's it, you go away. So if you've got any concerns, we can have like guide you the right way. We also pay for consultations for our hormone blood specialists. So that's exclusive to LaserHQ. So, you know, if we feel like we want to have a look at your bloods and we want to go that way, then we pay you and you can have a free consultation off us with the hormone specialist. So that's something else that we do differently. So the journey of laser hair removal is over the course of the year, and we are like working alongside with you. People say it's like therapy, it's like coming with a friend. The girls are absolutely incredible, and my main focus of like what makes LaserHQ different is to make every single woman that walks through my doors the most comfortable and walk out like change their life, feel amazing. So that's my aim of the building the brand, and that's how it's built so quickly. We've had 400% growth like back from COVID, which is just absolutely crazy because I had that time to sort of like look at my brand. How do I want people to feel? And environment is so important. So a lot of people do say, like on the reviews when they come in, they go, oh, I was a bit nervous, oh, I didn't know what to expect. And then they come in and they're just like, this is amazing. So yeah, so like LaserHQ is so different from all the other brands because we work with you along the way. If we need to check anything, if we're thinking, okay, like let's have a look at your hormones, we might be fighting against something, then we have that service there available for you. All the girls acknowledging that they are trained in like skin cancer detection, domestic violence as well. So, you know, if a lot of the women that do come in and they're sort of like offloading the problems or anything like that, so they are trained in domestic violence, so they could help with how to assist properly and, you know, sort of advise and everything else like that. So yeah, so we're so different to anything that I've ever known, and we are one of the UK's leading laser brands, and I'm just excited to grow and keep on getting that army behind us.
So you've got 3 at the moment?
No, I've got 4.
4 at the moment.
4. Soon to open 5.
Yeah.
And
tell us where they are.
So Manchester, and that's where the training academy is. So that's where the head office is. That's where I'm from. So that's a big hub. We have Liverpool. We have Leeds. We have Newcastle. I'm not going to say the other ones yet, but we are expanding across the UK.
Fabulous.
So, yeah.
Exciting times ahead.
Yes, stressful.
You're so right, though. The conversations that I've had with members of your team, they are so lovely. They're all very personable people. Yeah. They're all very friendly. You feel like you're having a chat with your mate. Yeah. You know, you may as well pick the phone up and you might be someone you've never spoken to before, but by the end of that conversation, they are your best mates, and that's what's lovely. We really strive for that as well at LaserHQ. It's really important, especially when you're talking about hormonal health. The women that come to you, very much like me a couple of years ago, just desperate to do something. We've spoken about my hair growth and my journey with laser and how it's completely changed my confidence as a person. These women are coming to you not only for a service, but sometimes genuinely just for an ear.
I feel like sometimes you don't know where to go. You don't know where to turn. So it's like when we do our Break the Taboo campaigns, we are saying we're breaking the taboo on facial hair, you know, because like yourself, if you want to say your
go for it.
Story,
I'm very open about it.
So like yourself that really struggled, thought you're probably the only one, you know, we are breaking the taboo and saying, no, you're not the only one. We're here to help you and we want to help you and we're not going to judge you. Like people come in, they go, oh God, I'm so hairy. And I think, it's like we've seen her before.
We've seen it all before.
But that's why we spend a lot of money, we spend a lot of time, we do a lot of research. We have a hormone specialist, and like we did a live with yourself, just to get the word out there, just to sort of like be like, you're not alone and you can change your life, like, and we can help you and other women can help you, because people feel completely alone. They think they're the only ones.
No, it's true. So. I think from my teenage years, we'll skim over it for those that maybe haven't heard our live. My teenage years were hellish. I was very thick, coarse, dark hair, the top lip, the lower back, the abdomen, in all of the garish places that you desperately didn't want it. I was a performer. I wanted to be a West End performer. And I genuinely believe there was an element of that held me back from doing it, because I wouldn't want to put dance costumes on because, oh my God, I could shave my bikini line at 12 o'clock and by 1 o'clock it'd probably still be growing back. It was awful. It did a number on me in terms of self-confidence, right the way through, even into my relationships. And like we said, my turning point was that wonderful ex-partner that will have no more airtime after today, I promise, who basically turned to me one day and was like, oh, you repulse me. Like, your arms are so hairy. Oh, you look like a bloke. And it crippled me. It literally killed me.
When you told me that story, I cried, didn't I?
You did.
I actually got emotional. I thought, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. But that's the empathy that we have for our customers.
Exactly that. We've been there, we've experienced it. And for me, that turning point of going, right, okay. And I reached out, it was actually a wonderful customer of ours who said, I actually offer that service. Come to me, let's see what we can do. And the difference in me, it's not even just the fact that, you know, I don't have to worry about shaving my legs when I want to go swimming, or the fact that, you know, I'm going to the gym and, oh gosh, I've not shaved my armpits or whatever. It's not that.
No.
It's just that having someone there that has told me that you are one in millions, and by the way, you're not actually that bad, and you should not think that badly of yourself. So I'm so glad there are people like you and, you know, others that work within the hormonal space that are really putting it out there now that women should speak about these things. It's this time-honoured tradition that it's absolutely acceptable for men to have hair everywhere, but if a woman has anything below the eyelids, like we are just yetis, and it's unsightly and it's garish and it's unfeminine. That's not the case. No. However, if you feel that way, there is something that you can do about it.
Yes.
Go see Helen at LaserHQ and she'll sort it out for you.
I don't do the treatments anymore, but I'm too busy.
No, but you're too busy, but there's everyone else there that can.
With the hormone health and sort of like helping people as well, I created this program with specialists, and we put this, it's an online program. It takes about an hour of your time and you get a certificate at the end. So it's like for people who are like therapists, like working with people who might be like having hormone imbalances and like spotting the signs of different things as well, and sort of how to have them conversations as well. So it's not that we solely do that. We want other people and other therapists and other laser clinics and other beauticians, or I don't know, anywhere, hairdressers or people who work within women. If somebody is having that like conversation and you might find it awkward and don't know what to say, like our hormone health program, which is, I think it's like $29.99. Sometimes it goes on offer or something.
Well, we could put a little link to it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's just sort of like knowledge of to pick up on, and, you know, having them conversations, because some people are don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why we're breaking the taboo. Yeah. Because it's like,
absolutely,
we need to be saying it.
So breaking the taboo really spans not only from, you know, talking about hair and general hormonal health. It is really pinpointed, and we did a lot of fundraising for endometriosis awareness. And tell me about your endometriosis journey.
So I have struggled with my stomach since I was really young, and I went gluten-free 21 years ago. I've not eaten gluten since. I mean, not on purpose anyway. And I really, really struggled with not the sense of periods. So if you would have said to me, like, what's endometriosis, and you Google and it's like painful periods, like painful sex, you know, things like that. And I'd be like, no, that's not really me. But I really struggled with my stomach. So I would have flare-ups. So I have actually got a picture on my Instagram because I wanted to spread awareness about it. And I always thought it was just always linked to food, you know, whatever I ate that day. But then I started tracking my flare-ups, and these flare-ups are nothing that I could ever, when I would go to the doctors, it was hilarious because they were like, oh, just a bit constipated. And I'm like, I don't think I am. Or, because it was never linked in that way of like my bowel movement. Oh, you're just stressed. You know, you've got a lot on, it can affect your stomach. So for years, it was about 21. When did I get diagnosed? I think I was like 27 when I got diagnosed. So a good 6 years I was on this journey, and I started tracking these flare-ups, and they would come 7 days exactly before my period. And I thought, that's strange. So I went private just because I just wanted to know the answers. And I had an MRI scan, and it said I had endometriosis and adenomyosis. I can never say that one.
No one can.
And he said it's really deep rooted in endometriosis POD, so Pouch Douglas, which is obviously near the bowel and the backside, that side, so I won't say. So also as well, I would bleed from my bum. Yeah. Not a lot, you know, just like I would wipe and I'd be like, there's blood there. Yeah. So again, going to doctors, being really embarrassed, like you're just stressed, or you've just got like like a little pile. I didn't have piles or anything. They couldn't find anything. So then it's like, well, why am I bleeding?
Yeah.
Like, bless my mum. She was just like, are you sure you're wiping the right way? I was thinking, I'm a full-grown woman, I know how to wipe. But these are the signs that you don't speak about to people. So like, I would happily sit here and speak to, and somebody might go, oh, that sounds like me. I'm going to go and get checked. So then I went and had an MRI, and he actually referred me because mine was so, the surgery that I had to have was a lot more specialist. Because it was so deep rooted. Anyway, when I woke up, it was attached to he told me it was attached to my bowel, it was attached to my bladder, constant water infections. It was all wrapped around my left ovary, pain on my left side, just all these things. And I went privately and had it all removed. And now I do things to manage my insulin levels, take that, lost weight on it, which is great. But no, so doing these things and this research, so like my life has been dedicated over the past 2 years since I've had my surgery on spreading awareness and making sure that my health is at the best it can be, and learning along the way, because that's what, unfortunately, suffers. No,
absolutely. It's so true with what you say, though. Everyone is different. Your endometriosis story and mine are just like, completely different.
Completely.
Mine was, I started my periods at 8. Up to kind of like 15, 16, 17. It would be this crippling pain. I'd feel like a rag doll every month. I get the bloated belly where, I'll wake up at the moment. At the moment, I've lost quite a lot of weight and I'm feeling really good about myself. And I wake up in the morning and I'm like, yeah, you look great. And then come 11 o'clock, I just get that little pot belly and I'm like, and I won't have done anything to fuel it. It's just one of them. You just got to live with it. You just got to get on with it. I do everything that I can for anti-inflammation. It has become so much better. You are so right. Since taking LaserHQ, I am like an avid taker of it for those reasons. We have so many women that suffer with polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, that take it for that reason. But for me, you touched on it. It's the fact that GPs will say things like, "Oh, it's just your age. You'll grow, almost like you'll grow into it." Or have you got an STD? And I was thinking, it's 15. No, I haven't got an STD.
And it's awkward because then it's like you don't want to go back. And so I remember actually I went for a flare up in my stomach, and my flare up had actually gone down by that point. I've got an appointment and got in. And I was embarrassed, sat there, felt like I was wasting this guy's time because he did, like he made me feel that way. So it's like you probably had years of suffering because you were so embarrassed and being like, oh, like, is it an STD?
The only reason I ever got the opportunity to go and have, I always get this wrong. It's not laparoscopy.
Yeah.
And the way that they delved in there and finally said, oh yeah, things aren't right. Was that my poor mum had to have a hysterectomy because her endometriosis was so bad, but she had got to like mid-40s of suffering, and just one day was like, enough is enough. And she was just absolutely riddled with it. So she had a hysterectomy, and at that point they thought, oh, we might need to check on this. Now I was 21.
Which they don't tell you that it's hereditary. No. I got asked after my operation, do you have anyone in the family? And I was like, my mum's never really had problems, but my grandma had a hysterectomy because of it. But I didn't know because it wasn't spoken about.
Because we don't talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. My nan, my great nan, they probably did have these problems, but we were just, they just wore their pleated skirts and their slingbacks and they just got on with it. But for my mum's fabulous. If you ever meet my mum, I won't tell you, well, she turned 62 this week, but she looks incredible. And I'm so glad that she had her hysterectomy. She reclaimed her life back because she must have been in so much pain. And only at that point did they say, we'll delve into your areas and see. And I'm so glad that they did, because we found a multitude of issues. And like you say, there's not a cure for it. They're working on it. There isn't a cure. It's just trying to learn how to manage it. Trying to eat the right things, drink the right things, not eat the wrong things, not drink the wrong things. It's not something that, you can just take something overnight, or even the surgery doesn't fix it.
No.
It just makes things a little bit easier. So I'm elated that we met and we had that time together working on the Break the Taboo campaign. And I'm more than happy to talk about my downfalls of, being in the college rooms, like in the corner, huddled up, crying in pain, because I think young girls need to know about it. They need to know it's not normal to bleed so heavily. It's not normal to have painful periods. It's definitely not normal to be bleeding from other orifices. If we can get anything from today, I hope that it opens a conversation for more people.
And I think a lot of it is about mental health as well, because, wow, my exes probably think I'm a psycho. But from having my operation and managing my hormones, I am a completely different person. When I look back, I don't recognise that person.
No.
But then how mentally that would really, really, really get to me, especially around my period, I would act crazy in some senses. So it's like, even if your mood swings are so horrendous and it really changes you as a person. So I come off the coil in October, and I'm actually figuring out who I am now after, went on contraception in 16.
I don't know if you might not have had the chance to, because I think it only went live recently. Our last week's podcast, we talked in depth. Alyssa and I are very, very aligned in the fact that the contraceptive pill and contraceptions on a whole have so much to answer for. There's just this big pool of women that are now kind of coming off it because they're learning that it's not doing them any good at all. They're coming off it and they're stepping away and they're going, wow, okay. I thought that's who I was.
Complete. I think I've seen this about the attraction as well.
Yeah.
100%. So I feel like a completely different person.
Yeah. So
if you would have spoke to me probably even like 3 years ago, I would say like I'm quite hot-headed. I'm quite like reactive, and I'm like very know my own way. Whereas like now, actually, I'm very understanding. I would consider myself sometimes laid back, but not in the sense I'm not hot-headed. I'm not reactive in that way.
No.
Nothing really. I remember I would be sat in meetings and something would happen in a meeting and I would just get this flush up me and I would be raging inside, and it was my hormones. It's like now I'm just like, be fine.
Because you're balanced.
Yeah.
It's the ladies that we speak to that suffered with PMDD. Again, something that really does need a lot more conversation. It's starting to happen, but there's definitely room there for people to talk about it more. One of our customers, Kelsey, avid LaserHQ taker, and will tell you point blank in the face, I was a witch. My children hated me. My husband thought I was a cow. Everything was horrendous. I started taking LaserHQ. I let it, sink in for that kind of like 2 to 3 month cycle. As we always say to people, let it work its way into your system. Yeah. And she genuinely will say, my husband's got the woman he fell in love with back. Mummy's not a monster anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to work and enjoying my work again. I feel better. My periods just come and go. And it's just having that one thing off kilt. So if you can keep yourself balanced like you are doing now, it's that difference is just massive.
Massive.
Huge.
Even like you sleep, things like that. Yeah. So I used to lie awake, hot sweats. And I was having these hot sweats at 25, and it was only when I was doing a client and she was a gynecologist. And I said, I get really bad hot sweats. And she's like, that's not normal for your age. No. Like, you shouldn't be getting them. And then obviously it was my hormones raging from endometriosis.
Absolutely. So part of the reason that LaserHQ will be doing a multitude of good for you and for other people in terms of that is we get a lot of ladies that say to us, I've got endometriosis or I've got polycystic ovaries. Will this help me? And as much as, and I'm really big on this, I never make the false claims of, yes, it'll fix everything, it's magical. LaserHQ is a marketer's dream, but if they speak to myself or Alyssa, we're very, very transparent, very honest. The maca and tribulus that feature in the supplement, that's what it is that is aiding that balance.
Right.
Because they are clinically proven, and we'll tag them in alongside the podcast, and it would be really useful for the ladies that have the extra hair growth that comes with polycystic ovarian syndrome as well, because we have started to see now that it is improving that for a lot of people too. So for anybody that is asking, why does LaserHQ help PCOS, endometriosis? I would say to them, you need to look into maca and tribulus terrestris. You don't necessarily have to take LaserHQ, but absolutely take those two things.
Yeah.
They're our heroes within a supplement for it. And that's exactly why you're now on an even keel as well.
Yes.
Alongside a multitude of other things as well. So you've got your five practices? Four at present. We're moving on to lucky number 5. That's fine. What else other than laser do you really enjoy doing?
So I have multiple businesses.
Yeah.
So LaserHQ is my main solely business. So we have LaserHQ Training Academy. So we train people in laser, and I do like business training and, you know, masterclasses and things like that. I have a business with my partner that does supplies for the industry. So we have a warehouse in Bury and and then so we do all the supplies, and then I have like another business as well. So for me, I don't even know what the question was.
It's all right. I was just saying, in addition to laser.
So in addition to laser. So yeah, so there's lots of business. So I feel like I was put on this path to do laser hair removal.
Yeah.
And alongside all my other businesses behind me to change women's life. So I understand now that there's a massive lack in this. And it's funny because it's funny you've asked me this, because the other day I thought to myself, is LaserHQ forever for me? We don't know, you know, but is helping women's health, like that is what I'm really passionate about. And that's where I see my career, my businesses, and going in that direction, definitely. Because if I can change one person's life, then I've made it.
I think it's brilliant now. More so than ever, women can diversify.
Yeah.
I obviously run the behind the scenes at LaserHQ. I do the customer experience. I sing. I teach musical theatre on a Wednesday. I do loads of different things. And the reason being is that, I don't, and stop me if I'm wrong, I don't like to kind of be stagnant and be in that one place. And like you say, if you can do loads of different things, then why not do loads of different things? But they all fundamentally come down to that thing of making people happy, or giving people happiness, or doing good for others. My dad will say that I'm like, if Jane McDonald and, you know, Dave Fishwick from Bank of Dave, if you watch Bank of Dave, you must watch Bank of Dave.
I don't have time to watch telly.
Oh no, if you do anything, you have to watch it, because this guy is a masterclass in human connection.
Okay.
So my dad always goes like, you're like, if Jane McDonald and Dave Fishwick had a kid, that's you. So I'm a singing customer service expert.
Amazing.
But I couldn't think of any two better people to be like. Because they're both so warm and friendly. And if that's what people think of me when they look at me, I'm happy with that.
100%.
But human connection for me is totally lacking. But I love that every aspect of what you do and what I do has that insight.
Because so the suppliers business, it's just a service-based business where you don't really know the customers. It just comes out. That is my least enjoyable business, because I love people. I love speaking to people. I love being around people. Like, I've got an office in the clinic. Do I use it? No. I'm in the head office all the time? Yes, because I like to be around people. So it's like, I just love hearing all these experiences. So when you tell me experiences that you've had with customers, I'm like, I love that. And when we was talking about laser, and the first conversation that we have, I just love people and helping people. It's
a sad state at the moment for me. We see so much. I got an email recently. I did a reel about it. It was like, you're losing out on customers and customer experience because you don't use artificial intelligence. Oh. And I was like, right, okay. And I know that the world is so divided on it.
Yeah.
I know that for scale, mass businesses with lots and lots of employees, AI, fantastic. When you're working, selling products or services that are so tailored, each woman's question is so original and so different. I couldn't think of anything worse than having a chatbot respond.
1,000,000%. That's what I invest in my business with, that they are people, not just a I don't know. Yeah, chatbot.
A machine, a chatbot. Yeah. And I think sadly it's kind of going that way.
Yes.
I will always go to I've just done it before, going to Tesco's, getting some pineapple. I purposely didn't use the scan.
The scanners.
I want to go and speak and have a chat with the woman that's, got nothing to do at the moment because that machine's taking over her job.
Yeah.
So I'll purposely do that. And every email, every DM, every message that we get, very similar, identical to that at LaserHQ, is a person that responds. And I think that is so special and so sadly quite unique now in the way that business works. So it's lovely that you've still got that going on and that goes right the way through your business.
And I don't want to ever lose that no matter what I do, because, there are laser clinics out there that you can't pick up the phone and it's like, you get automated things and stuff. Like, I want it to be where we are real life people. And if you want to chat on the phone, at the end of the day, we're here to have a chat on the phone. The girls go mad at me for saying this, by the way. Do you know, we had something the other day where a client couldn't get through because we were on the phone. So I was like, make sure you ring that client back. And Jess, who was on the desk that day, she went, Helen, we've had 40 plus calls today. She was like, I've not stopped talking. Great. Well done. She's like, brilliant. But that's what I want. I don't want to, if that means that I have to get another girl on the phones talking to somebody, I don't want to pay for these, hi, press hold, or like things like that. And, if you want to be on the website, go on the website. Like, no. We get DMs all the time, like you probably, about their stories and stuff. And especially on when I do post about my personal experiences, like we've had people say, thank you so much, because I've actually I think about 4 or 5 people have just had but when the message had the laparoscopy. Yeah. Can't say that word. It's quite
laparoscopy.
Laparoscopy.
Laparoscopy. Laparoscopy.
The operation. So they had the operation and they were like, thank you so much for just raising awareness, because I've had it removed now. And I'm like, God, that post has like changed 5 people's lives, just amazing.
It's also being there in the meantime, because at the moment you'll say, go and speak to your GP or go and speak to your specialist. Sadly, at the moment, they can't. I mean, I have to get my coil out and it's deemed as an emergency because it's lodged in a place that means it's doing no good. It's not doing anything for me. It's just in the wrong place. And 62-week wait I've got to have it out. 62.
I paid about £200 for having mine out.
Well, listen.
I'd pay that again.
Listen, at that point, now it's just a case of when can I fit it in? I will end up having to do that, but it's like, what day of the week can I possibly fit that in? There might be a time in a couple of months where I can do it. But the NHS is under so much pressure.
And we're very lucky to have it.
We are so lucky to have it. And the instances that I've had where I have had surgeries, I have had, conversations with specialists, they're doing their best. Yeah. They're doing their best.
100%.
They almost want to just give me some form of drug to make it feel like their time has been, or my time has been worthwhile, and which I'm not really pro to. But yeah, a 62-week wait to go and have something as
crazy
mundane as having your coil removed.
You can do it yourself.
So,
I wouldn't like
to do that. No, I think we'll wait till the professionals do it. But in the interim, I think I've seen that firsthand. So every time a woman comes and goes, I have tried everything, please do not tell me to go speak to my GP, because trust me, I have. I've taken the accountability. I know that something's wrong. I know that if I just have my hormones done on one day, it's not going to be the same the next day. But I clearly know something's wrong. I know my body. What can I do to help? We're not medical professionals by any means, but we're human. We're there to listen, and we can only give our advice.
So with this, sorry for interrupting you. So with this, we was finding that our clients were coming to us, and if we were saying, right, we need you to go and get your hormones checked, so they'd go to the GP, and then the GP, they would come back and they go, they've said it's fine, and we're like, we know it's not fine, but we're not medical professionals to actually give you this advice. So this is where I wanted to bridge this gap. Like, what else could we do to help these people? So that's where the blood work specialist came in. So, we pay about £30 a client. So her clinics are always full. Comes out of my pocket, nobody else's. To sit down, have this half an hour conversation, you know, and you can have your bloods done, and she will completely read your bloods down to the T. So she was telling me that the GPs look at your bloods like scales 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And then, but she'll look at your scales 1 to 100. So even if something is a slightly bit low, but the other things is slightly, she'll fix it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like a lot of the time it's the receptionist going, yeah, your bloods look fine. And you're like,
yeah.
All right, okay. So that's where this service that I wanted to bring in to bridge that gap to actually help people. Like, I don't have to do that.
No, you don't.
But I understand that the NHS are completely at its knees, especially with women's health, as you would know. So it's like, what can we do now to help to get out there?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
can I stock elsewhere at LaserHQ? I was just thinking that.
Why not? Why not? I'm sure we can do something. No, but you know what? We have now, it's funny you say that actually. Today I've had 5 messages from independent clinics all saying, we've seen your supplement. Everyone's been like evangelical about it, raving about it. We really want to stock it. We are stocked in Selfridges.
Oh, amazing.
But, and you know, I'll get shot for saying this, I'm not a fan of it being stocked.
Okay.
The reason being, the moment that I let go of that customer experience, which is the role I get up for in the morning, they can buy it, but they've not got the me or Alyssa at the end of the phone.
Yeah.
They've not got that, you know, the wealth of knowledge that comes as being a subscriber to our blogs, to our newsletters, to you know, to our lovely little gifts that we send every couple of months. So as much as absolutely be an affiliate, plug it till the cows come home,
especially because the gold, because we're white and gold.
Yes, it's gorgeous. But fundamentally, I would always go, sell the first one at your place, absolutely. But then let us retain them as a client, as a customer.
We could do that though.
We could do that. Because
I do speak about it a lot. We could do like, sorry, you don't have to put this in there. There's me like, we could do this. No. And then they get like a subscription thing, and then if they want to continue, then
So we always say LaserHQ is a minimum 2 month subscription. Yeah. And the reason being is you don't go to the gym for a month and expect to have lost all your weight and got your 6-pack. 2 months in, you might start to see some improvement. 3, 4, you're flying. Yeah. And that's what we say with LaserHQ. So when we talk about would we stock it in places, absolutely, and we do. But what is really sad to see is that the experience that people would have when they have purchased it at somewhere like Happiness is very, very different to the experience that they have when they being able to, you know, send a message and have the human response that we talk about. So there's definitely room to talk there. Yes. And absolutely, you know, we would love to see LaserHQ on the shelves of everywhere. But the only reason that we're not against it, but you know, we're a bit about it is we like to keep hold of that customer. Yes. Very much like the ladies at your clinics will want to do as well. They want to really like nurture those customers because they become friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you want to do the best for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap it up soon, but what I would like to say beforehand with any of that, what really shines through about you and about LaserHQ is obviously your real passion and enthusiasm for people. It's absolutely brilliant. The training academy that you mentioned in Manchester, you don't talk about that a great deal when it comes to anything like this. And I think we should maybe shine a light on it because there might be someone out there that's listening to this that thinks, I want to be a part of that. Yeah. Tell us about the training academy.
So the training academy is, we have VCCC, so they're accreditation courses. So they are government regulated courses. So you will be fully qualified to be a laser specialist. You know, you'll be able to get insurance and everything else like that. And, you know, the trainers are amazing. They are a lot of my girls who have been with me for a while and they've wanted to progress in the career and gone onto the trainers. And there's that side of it, but then there's also the business side that I do. So it's like, if anyone wants a little help on, I don't know, I just see things a little bit differently. And
like a coaching element.
Yeah, and I don't do a great deal of it just because I don't have time at the moment, but I will eventually progress onto that. But it is also, you know, entrepreneurship is a very lonely road, unfortunately. You can be like, I've grown the business from one for just me to 20 girls now, and it keeps on growing. I feel like I'm constantly starting interviews. But it's very lonely. People can go, oh, you'll be fine. Oh, just don't even worry about that. And you're like, yeah, but this isn't you. So it's just sort of like maybe nice to have that somebody who's been through it. I've been through everything within the 6.5 years. Like anything that could have happened in business, it's happened. And especially with the 4 businesses. So it's like a completely different outlook on, it's not just service-based business. But yeah, so the training academy is a really nice place. It's a really supportive place with the laser side, but then it's also like other sides as well. So if anyone wants to book me for like an hour and we can have a chat about stuff, and I'd be like, why haven't you thought about this? Or why don't you have a look at this? But then it's also, if anything happens, as you probably know, like within business, it's really lonely to sort of, no one understands to be around you, understand that, and people might give you opinions and be like, oh, recommend you to do it this way, or but the people who have lived it, like, they're the people that are around me, and the people that I know who own businesses, the conversations are completely different. Completely different. But yeah, so the training academy is great. So we do the accredited courses, so people can do laser if they want to go and change other people's lives. That's what I want to do, as long as they're helping people. It's just amazing, and hopefully it'll be like a rolling ball. Well, it is already a rolling ball, a fast one.
A very
down
fast
a steep hill.
But it's got great things at the end of that hill. You're all good. Okay, so I'm listening to this podcast. I've been blown away with how wonderful and helpful and great you are, Helen. It's great. How do I go about booking my appointment at LaserHQ?
So you can follow us at LaserHQ on Instagram or like Facebook. TikTok, actually, we've gone viral on TikTok.
Ooh, tell me about that.
Ooh. I have no idea. I'm not a very good TikToker.
I'm not a good TikToker.
I'm very old on there. So I was commented on somebody's post congratulating them.
Yeah.
And apparently, like when you press the space bar and you go down, you think that you're going down on the message. Yeah. No, it posts it. So on this poor girl's post, it was like, congratulations, and it was all me. And I was thought, oh my God, I'm old. But yeah, no, anyway, we've gone viral on TikTok. So Brilliant. If you want to message us on TikTok, expect a very weird reply from me. But no, you can go on laserhq.co.uk. On there, you can book now. You can book your consultation. It is a £20 deposit, but you do get the £20 back at the end of your treatment. So it just covers us with like staff and things like that. If it's no shows, last minute cancellations. If you want to give us a call, our number's on there, emails. If you just want to have a chat with us and just say, I've seen this. If you need any questions about what I've spoken about today and yourself, we're there. You can contact me through LaserHQ.
Fantastic. Helen, thank you so much for taking the time to come and see me. It's been lovely to finally put a face to the name. And I look forward to all of the reams of people that are listening to this reaching out to you. Probably not even to do with laser. They'll just want to have a chat with you and be your mates. we just like having a brew now, don't we?
Yeah,
We'll be fine. Helen, it's been lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.